Hello, look who's back. Thank you for joining us on the Nikki
Hey!
Medoro Show. I'm Nikki Medoro. She's Kim McAllister. We are back live. I am back on this side of the United States, and I can actually, Kim McAllister, I could breathe the non-humid air that I love so much on this side of the United States. But I thank all of you guys for the messages and for following me along on my trek across the United States. So thank you guys so much for being here on the Nikki Medoro Show. Click the thumbs up button, subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting the show as well through our Patreon and the super stickers, and the super chat is, of course, always live. And I love you, my friend. And I've been missing your face, but I know the people that have followed us. We want to start off with the most important news, which is I already got the update. Please, Kim, people love you. They want an update on you and your family.
You're so nice. And just thanks to everyone for all the nice messages. Yesterday, at the end of the after party live, as we were kind of closing the show, my daughter came in and said, there's an emergency. They call my mom Mimi as her grandma name. Mimi's on the floor. So I closed out the show, ran next door, and my nephew had called the paramedics because he found her on the kitchen floor. And she said that she just got so tired that she felt like she had to lay down and go to sleep right then. So apparently she laid down on the kitchen floor, and we think she may have been there for at least 3 hours on the floor. Yeah. So the paramedics, and her face was drooping, and it was very clear that there were signs of a stroke.
Yeah.
So we went to the hospital, and they did a CT and then an MRI, and it looked a lot like, I pulled this one from the internet, but this is almost exactly what it looked like. You see this little white dot right here?
Yeah, right.
It's a very, very small stroke on the left side of the brain, which is what controls your language center. And also the movement on the right side of your body. So your left side controls your right side side of your brain controls your left side. So they said it's 10 millimeters, and it's considered small. She had a small stroke. And I can tell that she is having trouble coming up with the right words for things.
Yeah.
And she's also like saying some outlandish stories, like things that are nonsensical and clearly not true, and almost kind of funny if it wasn't for the
reason it is. Yeah.
So, but they said that resolves, and it'll take a while. There's a little part of her brain that's dead now. And so the pathway is kind of rebuild around that part. And they think she'll gain 100% back.
Thank God.
All mobility, all language. This was really scary because my dad just died of a stroke a few months ago.
Exactly.
We didn't know how this was going to pan out.
Right.
And I have to tell you that I'm still really scared, because I know that once you have a stroke, the likelihood of having another one, increases. So she's on the right medication. She got excellent care. I feel a lot better about it now, but boy, that was a really scary time. She was released from the hospital today. We just got home from the hospital maybe 20 minutes ago. And so she's with my sister right now, and everything is fine. And I'm just so thankful for the outpouring of support. Even people that know that I'm not a big, religious person, they sent notes saying, listen, I know you don't pray and you don't believe in this.
We always say,
I'm going to give you a prayer, and here's my prayer for you. And just the thoughts that people had, and taking the time to reach out to me. So grateful. So nice.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone. She's going to be okay. And, we just have some changes. We're not going to be able to leave her alone for a while.
Exactly.
And, we're going to have to change the way we do things a little bit. She did not have her Apple Watch on. She was supposed to, and she just didn't put it on that morning. So we need to give her a little supervision until she gets back to 100%.
Exactly. And I did say that she could be with her mom. Kim wants to be here right now. She does not need to be here right now. It is our reunion show. I love seeing you here. But again, if anything, you need to leave. Obviously, Kim, please
Nikki's so mean. She's making me. No.
You need to sit in that chair.
Mark said the same thing. I was supposed to fill in for Mark today, and he had to delay his vacation. I felt so bad, but stuff happens, and this is a big emergency for us.
Of course.
But she's okay. She's home now. She's with my sister, and I'll be there in just a couple hours. So it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, we are all praying for your mom. I'm so happy that
Thank
she is
you.
okay, and please keep us
Yeah.
posted, and she will be in all of our prayers.
Hmm.
But yes, I am happy to see everybody here.
Yeah.
It's been a great trip. I will talk a little bit about the trip throughout the show today, because while I loved, obviously taking a break and driving cross country, and it was amazing. If you guys followed me, mainly on Facebook is where I was able to kind of share more of the pictures and things like that. I did a couple of just brief little YouTube lives, one from the 4th of July celebration that I was at that actually turned into a semi-news story, and then one from New Orleans. News just kind of followed everywhere I went. I guess the news story on the 4th of July, I did it was in I guess Kentucky, Ohio. I was in Ohio, right on
Hmm.
the border right there. Blue ash. I had sent the news story to you, Kim, after it had happened. And it
I
really
agree.
it really really stunk.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was we were at this 4th of July festival, and I've told you guys this before, that one of my biggest fears is mass hysteria, right? Like, and it's
Yeah.
one thing to hear about it, and then it's another thing to actually see it. Okay. So we're at this 4th of July celebration. It's awesome. Like, it's one of those Midwestern, everyone lays out their blanket. One of the guitarists from ZZ Top was like the headliner there. They had tons of food trucks. You think that we do food trucks? Tons of food trucks. It was huge. It was a huge, huge festival. We've been there for a couple
So
of hours.
the first video of that you posted was like the people on stage performing music and everyone
Oh, yeah.
kicking back on the lawn, little
Yeah.
kids running around. It was a very festive atmosphere and
Very.
very fun. So that was video number one.
It was, and
Mhm.
again, you have to understand, huge,
Yeah.
hundreds of people. I mean, I'm terrible at guesstimating how many people there are. At least hundreds, maybe 1,000 people. I'm just going to
Right.
guess. Okay. And a gigantic stage. And we're like in the kind of middle back area. So it's getting to be evening time. And all of a sudden, myself, my husband, and my sister in law are there with our children. It's
Yeah.
just us three adults. And at that moment, we're like, the fireworks are about to begin. Children, stay here. We're going to go to the bathroom. Not a big deal. So off we go to the porta potties. My sister in law and I are we open the doors of the porta potties, and we just see this rush of people running at us.
Oh
And
God.
I mean, but mind you, it's not everybody. It's just a crowd. It's a crowd of people, but not everybody. And and we're like, why are you running? And all of a sudden you start hearing, we heard gunshots. Now, it is the 4th of July. Okay. But there are people running. And so Sarah's my sister-in-law. And I go, and so we're like, we have to get back to the kids, obviously. We're all gone from the kids. And we start moving very quickly. And it's this weird juxtaposition of the music is still playing,
Hmm.
the show is still on. There's all these people still dancing, but there's also this crowd of people running. Okay. And then all of a sudden, we see this lone, it's like out of a movie. Little girl, little black girl, just standing there in this crowd, like,
Oh
and my
God.
sister-in-law is like, where is your adult? And she's just looking at my sister-in-law like, I have no idea. With all these people running. And so Sarah looks at me, she's like, go, find our kids. I'm gonna stay until, and she did. She ended
Take
up
this one.
finding,
Hmm.
I'm gonna take care of this one. And she did end up, they weren't too far away. They had come back. And so I get to blankets. And of course, my kids and my nieces are gone.
Oh God.
So I'm like, okay. So I hop on the phone. I get a hold of them. They're like calling me as I'm calling them. And I'm like, where are you? And they're, of course, hysterical. Mind you, the show is still going on, and there's people all around me still in their seats. So it's weird. And I'm
Yeah.
like, but my niece is crying, and she's like,
Oh.
somebody yelled, about a gun. And so we're up by the stage. And I'm like, come back. There's I don't believe there's any gunshots. It's the 4th of July. I believe it was fireworks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're like, are you sure? And I'm like, come back. Just come back to me because we need to stay together. And as I'm waiting for them, Kim, it is the weirdest thing to see people not believe what they see with their own eyes. So I'm standing and there's people sitting, and I look behind me and I see these a-hole teenagers firing off fireworks. You could see them. They're not supposed to be firing fireworks in this, obviously, show, like this festival. I could see them. And people like all of a sudden start gathering up their things. They're like, oh my God. And I look at them. I'm like, stop. It's fireworks. And they're looking at me like they don't trust the words that are coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, trust me. It is fireworks, because you don't want this mass stampede of people over something like that, right? I'm going to show you guys this video, and you know the video that I'm going to show you because this is the news story but this is a Facebook post. This came from a news story though also, okay? And this is the video that my children and my nieces kept showing me to prove that it was a shooting, because I kept telling them it's not. And they just had the hardest time believing me.
Can I ask you a question before you?
Yeah.
I just want to know, were they firing off the fireworks into the crowd? Because that can be, deadly as well.
What was happening, from what I understand of the news story, they were shooting them onto the ground. And then I think later on, they were shooting them into like an empty garbage, big old garbage thing. So it was echoing. So it was doing that as well. But they were also doing it on the ground. Like you could literally see the fireworks shooting up into the sky. Like it was on the ground, in the air. Yeah. It was just a-holes. But this is the proof that there was firework, that there was a gunshot.
There ain't no fireworks tomorrow. They fucking shooting, bro. Shut up.
Are like doing this.
Let's go. Yeah.
And it was just so sad. But this mom yelling at her poor kid, obviously, like, don't cry, and it's an honest fear reaction. Yeah, and exactly. There are idiots in every state, but the police said it was hundreds of accompanied teenagers.
Yep.
Which it's a 4th of July festival. What are you going to do? They're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, right? A-holes. And some ran by us while we were sitting there, they're like, oh, there's guns. And they just ran by, and I called them an a-hole. I was like, you're a-hole, because they're scaring my kids. And then, there's me telling my children to not have anything to worry about, while I'm hoping and praying that I'm right. Like, I'm like, I better. And I was right. But it was just this
scary,
absolutely frightening situation. And it just really goes to show, how these things can happen and how misinformation can be so easily spread in a crowd of people.
See, I would argue at a place like this, at a time like that, and a time like this in America, thank you. You're better safe than sorry. You running because in a crowd like that to safety, good. They're taught that at school. Get yourself in a safe spot.
Exactly. But in this situation, you would have been stuck in a crowd of people in like a bottleneck, because the place where we were, it was completely cordoned off. I even looked at the kids. I'm like, let's think this through. If we ran, everyone would have been running for the exact same place.
Safety, right.
You know what I mean?
I just, and that's what we should all, that's what my family does. And I feel like it's kind of a smart move, is when we go to an event like this or a bigger place like this, we have a plan. Yeah. I remember this was a while ago too, taking my daughter to Hamilton, looking at, I think it was on the heels of some mass shooting, looking around at the exits and asking her, okay, if something happens, you get on the floor, I'm going to get on top of you. Yeah. Right. Like, because there's no way out at where we are at this, but so to look and to have a plan. Does it suck that we have to think of it? Yeah. Does it suck that if you go to a really fun, wonderful event like this 4th of July event that you went to, that you have to be thinking this? Yes. You have to, this is America now. This is my whole thing with the whole Epstein Files thing. Not to change topic, but
oh, please. I've been obsessed with that as well this whole entire trip.
if America didn't care about the first graders at Sandy Hook,
Mhm.
do they care about, I don't know, however many 14-year-old girls that the Epsteins and allegedly Trumps of the world had their way with? Like, why is it okay to shoot 6-year-olds, but then you turn around and we turn a blind eye to the abuse of young teens, young women? It's
yeah.
like, I don't believe that people really care enough about this either. I don't,
Well,
because I don't think we care about kids in this country. Anyway,
I think we
know
like to talk. No,
yeah.
I actually do want to transition because I am done talking about the 4th of July and that shooting. I just wanted like these news stories and these topics just kind of smack you in the face, no matter if you're on vacation or anywhere. But I was obsessed with the Epstein story. I don't think I could have been. I don't think there was a story I was more obsessed with than the Epstein story and the hypocrisy, just like you were talking about. The hypocrisy. I am appalled and actually entertained, for lack of a better word, at how they're actually trying to spin this. Now, Jon is one of our conservative viewers of the YouTube show, and he had posted earlier, I did see your message. Oh, so you're saying that Biden sat on all of this information for 4 years. You understand that it's not Biden that releases this information, right? It is the Department of Justice that is supposed to release this information. So it's not as if Biden is the one that's supposed to be pulling the trigger here. And I don't understand why people are so obsessed with that. But I don't give a shit if Biden's on the list. I don't understand why people think that throwing Biden or Clinton's name out at me is supposed to impact me in some way. I don't care if the entire Democratic Party's on that list.
Who's the president right now?
Yeah. Who was the president in 2016 when this whole damn thing began?
Right.
Trump. Like, stop. It doesn't matter. I want to know every single person on the list. Why hasn't one person been named? Why?
It's like the same thing with Trump throwing in every direction, firing off these distracting stories all over the place. Oh, but Hillary Clinton's emails. Let's talk about that again. Oh, Barack Obama and the Russia conspiracy. Let's talk about that again. Let's talk about all these different. No. Nothing matters except right now and your scandal.
Exactly.
That's it. You're not going to distract me with anything else.
Nope.
You're not going to make me look away from it. I don't care about Hillary's emails. Guess what? She was never the president. I don't care about past presidents. What I care about is the sitting president of the United States of America. That would be Donald Trump, sadly. And so that's what I care about. And no distraction will take me away from the focus of it.
Yep. And now honestly, they want these files. The House Oversight Committee's subcommittee voted to subpoena all the documents in the case. And now they're saying that Bondi, the attorney general, was told that Trump's name was mentioned many times. Obviously, no one is. Obviously.
Are you surprised? No.
No, nobody should be surprised. And this is the thing. Do you really think, does anyone really think that Donald Trump entering, the dressing rooms, grab him by the pee, slime ball, cheating on his wife, that this is where he drew the line, is to not go to Epstein's Island? Are you friggin' kidding me right now? Everybody knows. Stop it already. Like, you don't need to protect a pedophile. Did you see that DeSantis got screamed at today or yesterday? He was doing some sort of press conference and some guy was pissed. And he's like, you're bending the knee to a pedophile. Like, people are fed up. Like, if you truly, actually want to protect children, there's no debate. You need to know who's in these files. And anybody that doesn't want to see it anymore, I don't understand why. And it's not as if this wasn't a big deal over the years. All those documentaries that came out about Epstein, that's all been over the past several years. I don't understand why people think all of a sudden this has been big news. This has been big news for an extremely long time. It's just all of a sudden people are like, oh, wait a minute. Donald Trump is probably going to get exposed now, and he's doing some crazy ass. But I was listening to one person say that this could be the quote unquote end of Donald Trump. I don't buy that.
Thinking, isn't it?
I don't think that there's anything that'll make
No.
his cult actually do anything to get him out of office. Honestly, I think sadly, meeting his maker is the only thing that's going to get Donald Trump out of office earlier than another election.
We're not advocating for that.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
I know.
No, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Congress would ever impeach. I don't think that there would ever be any. I don't think there is enough spine in Congress, is what I'm saying, to look at a alleged, suspected, most likely pedophile and do anything about it.
Yeah.
And do anything about it. If Donald Trump's name was in that file saying that he SA'd underage girls, I still don't think that would be enough for his supporters to do anything about it. Sadly.
There are some of his supporters that are so rabid that if he tells them this is what we should not be focusing on, they will believe it and they will buy it hook, line, and sinker, and they will look away. But I think most of the MAGA people who were the also QAnon conspiracy theorists have read enough about this case that it's so obvious that he's involved in some capacity, that his name is in there multiple times, that they were best friends, that they hung out. There's videos of them like commenting on the ladies as they walk by.
I mean, come on.
You cannot tell me that a guy who said grab them by the pee, they'll let you because you're famous. You just go ahead and do it. You kiss them, you grab them, you do whatever you want. A guy that said, oh yeah, I go backstage and I stand around with the 14-year-old girls and look at them as they change, and I own the show, so no one says anything.
Exactly.
And it's just me back. I mean, so he's leering at young ladies, young women, I'll say children, because they're children. I'm sorry, but I
underage women. Yes, children.
Underage girls. They're girls, children. He's leering at them. He doesn't care about consent. He's just willing to grab them by the whatever.
Yeah,
and so,
exactly.
Yes, it absolutely fits with his character. No one should be surprised. Whatever comes out, however lurid the details, however he's involved in this, no one should be surprised. He's a scum-sucking pig, and he always has been. No offense, Trumpers, but we know he's sketchy. And I have to say that, my husband was like, well, remember, Bill Clinton had sex scandals. First of all, Bill Clinton's sex scandals up to this point have been with women that are of age. And I've never,
as far as we know,
JFK is alleged to have had extramarital affairs and sex in the White House, whatever. So have other presidents.
It's almost as if men in power do sexual deviant things. Shocker.
Absolutely.
This is my shocked face.
Well, and there's evidence that is actually the case, right?
Yes.
There's evidence that powerful men, they like the feeling of that, of being in charge, and there's a sexual aspect to all that. Okay, my argument would be this: yes, that there have been past presidents involved in sex scandals, but it seems to me that their sex scandals did not affect the job they were doing. Right? So I would say Bill Clinton, for the most part, still was able to do his job as president. I would not argue the same about Trump, even though it's not a current sex scandal happening in the White House.
It is. I mean, honestly, the House can't do anything now, right? They're going early to recess. Yeah. They can't do anything because they're refusing, right, to release these documents. If you haven't seen this clip right here, this is Jeffrey Epstein back in 2010. Talking about his personal relationship with Trump.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
And look at his head shaking.
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
You don't exercise those amendment rights unless the answer is yes.
Right.
I mean,
Did you see the smirk?
oh yeah, he was probably envisioning
Yeah.
all of those times that he did it with Donald Trump. I mean, you guys, it's not. Look, we have a pedophile as a president, most likely.
Yep.
So there you go, people. And the truth of the matter is that his base, at least a lot of them, likely don't care.
Yeah.
And that says more about them than it actually says about Trump. It just does. If you don't care, and that's the thing, if Americans believed women, we wouldn't be in this situation, because these women have already come out and accused Donald Trump of this. They've already said it, and people just didn't believe them. So if we believed women, we wouldn't be in this situation.
That's right.
But because we don't, we are. Because it isn't, the question isn't, what about the girls? Where are the girls? Where are the victims? It's how do we protect Donald Trump? That's what it is.
Have you read? There are depositions that are, I don't know if they were leaked or how they got public, but there are depositions where accusers detail their allegations against Trump specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And what they say that he did to them, awful.
Awful.
Allegations of restraining them, tying them up, forcing, like, younger women, young women,
Awful.
girls. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
I mean, it's
That's what my husband said. What about Clinton? I'm like, well, at least Monica Lewinsky was of age and it was consensual. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. And yeah, Kevin, like, where are the victims? These whole files where they're like, well, the descriptions of what's happened to these children, nobody needs to read. Of course, I don't need to read details about child abuse.
No.
Redact the victims' names. But if there's details, then there's somebody that did it. Who are those people? Who are you protecting?
Yeah.
That's what people want to know. And the fact that Bondi and all the rest of them haven't released the names tells you everything you need to know. They're protecting them. They're protecting them. And that's the scariest part. And again, for the cult members in the back, I could give a shit if it's a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care.
Make all the names public.
Care.
Do it all. Share all the information and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, burn it all down. If it is every single member of Congress, kick them all out and put them in prison. Yep. I don't care. We can just start with a fresh slate.
And here we have Cindy with her whataboutisms. Oh, the last administration opened the border, lost more than 400,000 innocent migrant children. Sex trafficking, blah, blah, blah. No evidence, no proof, no anything. Just outsit like somehow that allegation, which is not proven and likely nonsensical, has anything to do with this. No, you can't distract us. You can't make us think about anything except this scandal and this president that is very likely disgusting.
And what is the point, Cindy? Like, what is the point? What is the point you're trying to make? Like, okay, let's just even say that.
What about it?
Right? Like, okay, even if you believe that's true, does that not mean that does that mean that you're okay with having a pedophile president?
Right.
What are you trying to say with these whataboutisms? That it's okay for Donald Trump to be a pedophile?
Yeah.
To have SA'd underage girls at Epstein's Island because you're mad about something that you believe the last administration did? What is your point?
See, Cindy thinks we're evil for even talking about this. I think Cindy's not dealing with a full deck for caring about one thing and not the other. Even if what she alleges is true, it has nothing to do with the story in front of us. And both things are horrible. So why would you care about one thing and not the other? Something with your logic it's very wonky, Cindy.
Right.
Very wonky.
And again, it's a protection type thing, right? Like, I have to protect my side, my president, by pointing out something over here, which is what Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, all of them are trying to do. It's like, don't look over here, look over there. You know what I mean? No, and it's more than just getting Donald Trump, right? Because again, like I've said, I believe it's so many more people in power. Obviously there's Democrats on that list. You'd be insane to think that there's not Democrats on that list, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is a power thing. It is a message to people in power that you can do the most horrific thing, and the government, the federal government, will protect you in front of the American public's eye that is demanding to know who you are. And we will just tell you, nope. Even though it's obviously, there's a list. I mean, maybe not a ... list, but there are files that have names on it. We're not going to give it up. We will not give you up. And that is the most dangerous thing in the world. Because if you allow people in power to literally do the most horrific things to the most innocent of lives.
That's right.
What does that say about who we are as a country? The things that people, well, if people knew American history more, they would be more horrified than they are. I just truly believe that. You know what I mean? That's why Donald Trump loves the uneducated. If we truly knew our own history, we would be a lot more upset, enraged by what is going on than we are.
You can go to a website that spoon feeds you the news that you want to hear.
Of course.
Like an OAN or whatever ridiculous website that's not news, but it's, made up concocted crap by, we have a White House reporter. It's not serious news. It's not real. See, these are not people who are looking for truth to make a well-informed and educated public. That's not their goal. Their goal is to keep the important stuff from you and give you only what they want you to have, right? Just enough so that you think you're getting news when really you're not getting anything. So I think people like Cindy and the like just go to one site and they get ingrained in all this stuff. They have no critical or logical thinking skills. And then they come here and regurgitate crap like this, somehow stumbling upon our show. And, we know better. We know what's happening to you. You're not getting the truth. You're not getting real news. So I'm sad for you.
I'm glad you brought up news because, again, that brings me to the next thing that I'm obsessed with that we've talked a lot about, which, of course, is what is news given what Donald Trump and this administration is doing. Now, I'm sure you've heard the Trump administration has approved today the $8 billion merger between Paramount and Skydance. The FCC voted 2-1 to approve the merger. Now, the reason why this is important is this is after Paramount agreed to pay Trump $16 million as part of that settlement over that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, where if they had a backbone, they would have never paid off. But they're bending the knee. Media companies like Paramount, CBS, they're bending the knee to this administration. And I don't understand how they can do this, and it's pissing me off. We've heard that the late night show, the whole late night show is going away, but with Stephen Colbert is going away. He was talking about this merger. He criticized it heavily on his show, and a few days later, they announced the whole late night show after like 30 plus years is going away. Now, it's great that they're throwing the whole show out so it doesn't look like they're just targeting Stephen Colbert. But let me ask you this question. Why would anyone want to go and work for a traditional media company if this is what traditional media thinks of the First Amendment? I don't understand. What does CBS believe the First Amendment stands for? If they want a merger so badly that they bend the knee to an administration like this. I know, exactly. I was going to bring that up as well, Charles. Columbia University paying the Trump administration and then also allowing them to access the information. What why are we okay with this? What are private universities? What are media companies standing for? What are they so afraid of? Money. We have to get the money out of politics.
It's all about the money. Let's
And
go.
it's scary, Kim. I
Let's
wouldn't
go.
if I was a journalism major, I don't know if I would want to go into journalism anymore.
No.
I don't.
Well, let's go back to CBS because what is it? Is it called Skydance?
Skydance,
It's
yeah.
trying to buy CBS and they need approval from Trump. So this deal worth gazillions and gazillions of dollars, they're willing to capitulate to Trump to get this approval to make this happen. And it appears that Trump had some demands along with his billions. He wanted no Colbert because Colbert is very critical of Trump, right?
He's such
In the
a
biting and
thin-skinned
most
a-hole.
delicious way, right? So they say, okay, we'll give you that. $20 million in programming and airtime to Trump. Now we know this as
And
well.
what does that mean? Airtime to Trump. He's the president. How much more airtime do you need? Like,
Well, I guess now he can run promos and the little weird things he runs on Truth Social. Expect to see that on CBS. And what we have now is we won't have a CBS. We won't have the three big networks anymore that are working to do real news. We'll have CBS, which will kind of float away and join Fox News, and then maybe it'll float a little lower and join the OAN, and float a little lower and join
it's
the,
so sad.
so
That
that's what we
is
have.
so
CBS just gave up
sad.
its soul for money. That's what
Yeah,
happened. But
that
what's
is so
interesting,
sad.
and teacher Lori brings up, is that the talent on CBS is not going down without a fight. They'll all be kicked to the curb eventually. But South Park's premiere, did you see what they did?
I did see that. Let me see if
Ugh,
I could. I don't know if I can bring it up very
I
quickly,
don't.
but
We probably
hold
won't be
up.
allowed to play it, but they have a naked Trump who's in bed with Satan.
Was
Like
Satan made fun of
it
his
is
little pee.
it's scathing. Yeah, his little penis talks. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad in the best of ways.
Yes,
Also,
exactly.
on The View, they're saying, oh, The View is going to be canceled. Basically, all of this shows that have any criticism of Trump, right, on CBS. Now Trump has a way to apply pressure to make those people go away and lose their jobs. It's my hope that now that we have platforms like YouTube and other things, that there will be a way for these people to make enough money to still keep putting out their message and doing the good work that they're doing.
Well, I don't know if you saw Jon Stewart's monologue after Stephen Colbert got fired. It was excellent.
Yep.
But he made a good point, like kind of what you're saying is, all the talent that, you guys are kicking off, they made all that money for you.
Yeah.
And what is CBS?
Mhm.
Who's going to want to watch this crap, And there's a good point. Like if you watch Fox News, they pull all of their content from all the people they're complaining about. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of content are you going to have if there's no more Stephen Colbert's to bitch about? Right? Like, you need to have an adversary. Like, what's your adversary going to be if it's just 24/7 kissing the ring of Donald Trump?
Mhm.
I can't. And people want this. But it makes sense though. People that believed that, liberal media dominated when Fox News has always been like the number one news station for like ever. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh no, it's just that they weren't popular. You know what I mean? They didn't have Hollywood. Everyone thought that they were assholes because they were racist assholes. And that's what they were spewing because people don't want to listen to your crap. Nobody wants to, sit at a dinner table listening to your archaic, antiquated viewpoints on gay marriage or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like people have evolved. And just because it's not popular anymore and you want it to meet doesn't mean anything. And sorry, you found your little cult on Fox News and OAN, and they've now
Mhm.
bought all the radio stations in the middle of America. And so they've convinced all of them to keep up that nonsense.
Mm.
But I would hope that at some point these antiquated viewpoints die out. I would hope that. Trump is definitely going to sue her regardless. I don't know. I don't know what happens when you lose control of the media though. I really don't. yeah, we have YouTube, but it's so much. And algorithms. Did you hear how Trump was saying, we're going to invest in AI to make sure that it's not woke AI?
Yeah, I
What
saw
the
that.
fuck does that mean?
Right. Right. Well, and now, and we knew this was going to happen. Remember, we recently interviewed this man that runs I think it's a nonprofit regarding state parks.
Right.
And we talked to him about the sanitizing of history messages in state parks. And now the SF Gate just yesterday came out with an article about that it's happening in Muir Woods, at Muir Woods in Marin County, which is, I
How's
think
that
it's
happening?
they had. So I don't know if you know this about John Muir, but he said some really
Oh, of
horrible
course.
things
Yeah.
about Native Americans. So on the plaques at Muir Woods, there were some kind of long-term sticky notes put on a timeline in between that
Oh,
also added some things about, John Muir said these things, or this happened, that, so it was the true history of the place and the person. It was, he did all these good things, and also this happened, right?
right.
Well, now all those sticky notes are being taken away because Trump and company don't want us to have the truth. They just want us to have the whitewashed version of what happens. Like, we're not allowed to talk about the fact that, he was a racist, that he subscribed to eugenics and whatever else. That type of thinking, that we're only allowed to know that he was a naturalist, and that's the reason we have Muir Woods and other state parks. So, I mean, yeah, it's
It's just,
happening here. It's happening here.
it's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Just on a side note, just about learning about the history of things, can I just
Mhm.
add this little caveat from my trip that I used that I'm now thinking back seemed pretty straightforward and honest. While we were driving across country, my husband and I downloaded this app called Audio, AUTIO. And you keep it running in the background of your phone as you're driving,
Sure.
and it knows where you are in the country. And when you would pass certain spots, it would tell you history lessons in 2 or 3 minute little sound stories about the area.
That's great.
I'm just going to show you. This is going to be one of the things that I showed. My husband and I were driving, and forgive me because I don't remember where we were on the. I should have written it down, but we were driving, and all of a sudden we're listening to this story, and we learned about this statue, and right off the freeway or the highway that we were on, Dignity, and we pulled off, and it was this statue of Earth and Sky that was created
Oh,
back
so
in
beautiful.
2016. It's really cool. It has like these glass diamonds that kind of move with the
I'm
wind
so
or
jealous
whatever.
that you saw that. I've seen pictures of this before,
Yeah.
and I'm so excited in person. How gorgeous.
Yes, we were literally driving and listening to the audio, and then they were saying, and we're like, "Oh, we're on this highway," and then all of a sudden we're like, "Oh, that exit's coming up." So we just like, it was really, really cool. So, anyways, just to kind of say, this was one of the things we did. If you ever make trips, and you can buy like a year-long subscription, so you can always have it going. We just bought the one trip kind of thing, but it did seem like it wasn't, sanitized. It was very
Mhm.
like they taught us all kinds of things about, flooding to all kinds of people, and definitely
Nice.
down in the South. So it wasn't sanitized because like some celebrities were reading some of them. It was really actually cool.
Yeah,
So
love
anyways,
it.
learn your history different ways, I guess. That's what you have to do. But yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do as far as the media, and he's suing the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch and all this sort of crap. And if we don't do something about maintaining true information and demanding it, he's just gonna take it all over. Teacher Lori, Wall Street Journal ran another Epstein story day after Trump said he was suing. Paramount aired South Park and strong criticisms of Trump on late night and the Today Show, or the Daily Show, pardon me. It's given one hand and rebel with the other. Yeah, until he wants to cancel them all. And I don't have any faith now in the media companies. That's my problem. That's my worry. Like, what's next? Pardon me. I'm scared because once you control the airwaves,
Mhm.
the FCC is supposed to be independent. But the chairman that we have right now is a total Trumper, and he admits it. Whatever Trump wants me to do, I'm going to do. That's why this whole Paramount Skydance thing was in limbo for so long. Until Trump said, okay, it was not going to happen. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be that way. The fact that Donald Trump just signed to remove $1 billion from public broadcasting, that's going to hurt middle America. They're not going to know about floods that are going to happen in the middle of the night on July 4th in Texas, right? Like, people aren't going to get these emergency warnings. Oh, another thing, Kim McAllister, that you're really going to appreciate. So I am driving cross country with my husband in a rental minivan, and it was a Chrysler Pacifica. I don't know the year, but it was a newer model. And I am telling you, we hit some rainstorms. I'm telling you, driving across Mississippi, Georgia, some of the flooding that was going on. I literally, for one part of a drive, closed my eyes. I was scared.
Wow.
Scared about the amount of rain that was coming down. But let me just tell you something very, very interesting, my KGO colleague, former KGO colleague. As you see on the side of the road, tune in to 1620 a.m. for road conditions, and your car can't do it.
No, because it won't have an AM radio, right?
Because it won't have an AM radio.
Yeah. Dan writes, he's suppressing media information. Tammy writes, we're on our own, folks. And this is the scary part, is it seems to me, and maybe this is an outlandish thought, and my apologies if my mind's getting away from me and I'm going down the dark path. But it seems to me like if you're attacking and trying to control the message, the media, then we are on our merry way, skipping hand in hand to state media, like Russia,
absolutely,
like China.
Absolutely.
You know, they control what weather information we get. They control what politics we get. They control what the world information is. Harder in a democracy where we all have internet access, but like China and Russia, you restrict what comes in on the internet. It's been an issue with Google and China for a long time. And so, you know, it's hard for me to really truly believe that could happen in America, that our beloved tradition of a free press being so important could ever be taken away. But look at all the other things that have happened, the outlandish, crazy things, the rounding up of immigrants and holding them in these horrible facilities where the cruel and unusual punishment from the Constitution need not apply, sending people to countries where they didn't even originate from, sending people to these horrible prisons from whence they never get out. I feel like so much horribleness has happened. I can't put it past this administration to keep attacking the press and our universities to control the flow of information and what we know and what we learn.
Yeah,
it scares the hell out of me. Gotta tell you.
I wanted to find this explanation that was written so well, and I wanted to read it to you. I thought it was a video, but anyways, it basically said this. Because you're basically talking about giving up all of our rights and becoming like a communist country, right? But you always hear, you know, all these Republicans being like, oh, socialism, communism, right? But they have no problem with it appears to be fascism, right? Like Donald Trump, it's this kind of fascist state. And it's because they don't want the redistribution of wealth. They want to keep poor people poor, right? They like that. They don't want to see everyone be okay. They like the hierarchy, right? And that's the problem. There's those of us that want everyone to succeed, right? The living wage where everyone could just, you know, you work hard. You should have a roof over your head. You shouldn't be Venus Williams, who has to come out to play tennis because she was on Cobra and she can't afford health care.
Just like craziness.
Did you see it? Venus Williams was interviewed and she's like, they're like, why'd you come out to play again? Venus freaking Williams.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I had to start training again because they were telling me I was on Cobra and I need my health care. Venus Williams was scared about health care. It's not provided.
Does she not have enough money to self-pay? I thought these were millionaires, no?
Because she has like health issues. She has an autoimmune disease. That's healthcare in America.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. To pay cash for healthcare in this country, if you don't have health insurance, if you're not on a plan, it doesn't matter. It will break you. That's insane to me. And so that's why. You know what I mean? They don't care as long as they're fascist, as long as you're part of the 1% or think you are, right? As long as you think you are, as long as they've convinced you in some delusional way that there's somebody below you, you're fine with it. The fact that people are taking pictures in front of alligator Alcatraz, like it's not a concentration camp. I'm so disheartened how quickly people give up their morality. At the end of people's lives, when they look back, I wonder how many of them will regret some of the decisions, some of the things they said, and some of the things they supported. Because I don't regret being appalled. I really don't regret being appalled by these things.
I think when we look back, we'll definitely be on the right side of history. And that'll be nice. It'll be nice for our ancestors to know that we weren't horrible people. By the way, happy birthday to Lee.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. I was trying to get the balloons up. See if I can get them up.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, happy birthday, Lee. Woohoo. But yeah, it's doing some of the family ancestry work and finding out that some of my ancestors were rotten and didn't treat people right in previous centuries, the slave trade and all this type of stuff. You want to think that your ancestors were the good guy, right? You want to think that your people were moral and upstanding through time and that somehow good morals were passed down through the generations. And it turns out when you look back that you had some people in your family that were real shitheels. And I want anyone looking back at this time in American history as perhaps we witnessed the end of the great experiment, to say, our great-great-great-grandmother Kim, boy, she really, look at those YouTube videos. Our great-great-great-grandmother Nikki, look at those YouTube videos. There she was. Look what she was saying. Look how she stood up. Right. That's what we can be proud of. That's all we can hope for. We hope people hear us. We hope people carry the mantle. We hope when the protests come and it's time to rise up that we do. And we hope that you don't look away from the truth. And when it's time to vote, you'll vote accordingly. We can't stop beating the drum. And I know that we're on the right side of history. And I'm not stopping.
Okay, well, here's a question. And I know this happened a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure you guys have talked about it on the other shows. But I'm curious of your take because I've molded it in my mind. What do you think of the whole redistricting debate? And whether or not Democrats should, if Texas does it, if Texas decides to do like a mid-year or decade redistricting, should California, should other Democratic controlled states, right? Even though we don't like it and think that it's totally against our Constitution, right? Not the right thing to do. Should we do it? I want to play a couple of sound bites but I want you guys to comment because I'm torn. Obviously, like, seems hypocritical, right? Like, should we? Shouldn't we? Newsom's obviously come out and said we should be doing this. We have to, fight fire with fire. Blah blah blah. Here is Democratic Texas Congressman James Tallarico talking on. What's her face's show? MSNBC.
Clear about what's happening. Donald Trump is attempting to rig the next election. He and his allies in Congress just passed the largest transfer of wealth in American history with their big, beautiful bill. They're literally kicking millions of people off their health care to fund tax cuts for billionaires. And they know it's unpopular, but they don't care because they have a plan. Donald Trump just called Governor Abbott and told him to redraw the political maps in Texas to gain 5 more Republican seats so they can protect their majority no matter what the election outcomes are. I mean, this is the rot at the core of our broken political system. Politicians choosing their voters instead of voters picking their politicians. In any other industry, this would be called a conflict of interest. And so Democrats here in Texas are going to do everything we can to stop this power grab, because if it happens here in Texas, they're going to do it in every red state across the country. They're going to rig the 2026 midterms. We're obviously in the minority here in Texas. We've been in the minority for about 30 years, so we've learned how to use every tool in our toolbox to fight for people and deliver for people. So we have the rules. We can use the rules to figure out how to slow things down and how to kill bad bills. We can use our platforms to organize people like we're doing out here in Plano. We can also deny quorum because they need all the Democrats to show up to be able to conduct business. We did that in 2021 to stop their voter suppression bill. And so these tactics are all things that we can use and employ to try to prevent this power grab from actually happening. And so I'm going to be talking to my colleagues here at the state capitol and figuring out what tools we can use to fight for people and protect this democracy.
Okay, so I mean, now this is, I'm going to play a little bit more for Beto O'Rourke too, because we've heard, I'm sure you guys have heard Newsom talking about it. But here's my thing. Where does it end then? You know what I mean? This is my concern, is like, okay, so Texas does it, and then California does it, and then other blue states do it, and then red states do it. At what point do we just, the voters, start losing control of it all, right? Like, at what point do we stop? Now, here's a little bit from Beto O'Rourke, who I think is making the same case that Governor Newsom was making.
Over this country. But there's more that we can do. Governor Gavin Newsom in California has talked about a redistricting in his state. I think it's time that we match fire with fire. I think Democrats in the past too often have been more concerned with being right than being in power. And we've seen Republicans only care about being in power regardless of what is right.
So you support the Newsom effort because California right now has an independent commission that does districts in as fair a way as possible, in nonpartisan way as possible. You're saying Democrats should, even though you don't approve of it, Democrats should do it too.
We have to get serious. We have to be absolutely ruthless about getting back in power. So yes, in California, in Illinois, in New York, wherever we have the trifecta of power, we have to use that to its absolute extent. And then the last thing, this may end up biting Republicans in the ass. You have the possibility that they will disperse Republican voters to make up these 3 or 4 or 5 new congressional districts and put those districts in play. So in Texas, we've got to get out there and register and meet the voters who are going to decide the outcomes in these next elections if they're successful with this redistricting. Our group, Powered by People, is doing this right now on the ground. We can't wait for 2026. We got to do the work right now in 2025.
So House Democrats are exploring doing this in other blue states, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, Washington. It's already done quite a bit in Illinois. And there's some examples of it, of Democrats taking advantage of it in Nevada. But you were in North Carolina this week and you told voters there that they need to end the process of gerrymandering. Doesn't it sound like you're saying that they should end the process in a Republican state or a Republican-leaning state, but do it in a Democratic state? I mean, should there be like a consistent point of view here?
It's confusing, isn't it? You heard Democrats in 2024 often talk about saving democracy. People in America didn't understand what they were talking about because we really don't live in a democracy right now. When one person can spend nearly $300 million to elect their preferred candidate for president, that is not a democracy. When members of Congress can choose their own voters, that is not a democracy. When Texas makes it nearly impossible for millions to cast a ballot, that is not a democracy. So the first order of business is winning political power. And then, yes, Jake, we've got to get big money out of politics. We've got to get politicians out of the process of redistricting. We have to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. And we've got to make sure that we overturn decisions like Citizens United that equate corporations with people and money with speech. That will produce a real democracy. But until we are there, we have to use every lever of power that we have right now to our advantage to make sure that we're in office, because no one wants members of Congress choosing their own voters, but we have no ability to change that until we start winning some elections.
You say,
and that last point, I think, is the one that I wanted to hear the most. we can't do anything if we don't have any power. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm worried. And this is the part where I think he's right. It's like we get so caught up in the slippery slope argument, right? Well, if we do it, then what happens, right? If we say that it's okay now, then how do we pull back? Do we trust the Democratic Party to not go crazy, right? Do we trust it that once we give them the power, that they're going to do what we want? Yeah, get rid of Citizens United. We've had power before. Are we going to have enough power to do it? Are we going to listen to people like Bernie Sanders and not, squelch those progressive voices like we did before?
I really like this comment from Charles, who says, I agree with Colin Allred. Gerrymander to get the power back, then pass laws to end it. So it doesn't do what Teacher Lori is afraid of, get, all these reps in the House and never get another law passed again is just going to be too much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with the cheating, even though it's legal cheating, and bullying, right? Using the rules to your advantage, even though it's not the right thing to do. It is a way. It is in a form cheating the system. When my son gets bullied at school, I used to say, consider the source. They probably have a really sad home life. Just ignore it and walk away, right? They probably have parents that don't care about them. They probably feel bad about themselves and they're taking it out on you, whatever it may be. And then my husband said, don't let someone kick your chair. If someone takes a shot at you, if they punch first, you punch back.
Right. You have to do something, stand up for yourself.
It's against my nature to tell a kid to be, to punch back ever. But it happened. He did. And they stopped. Imagine that. So we're too nice. I say we as in Democrats, liberals, liberals, whatever you want to call it. People that are opposed to the MAGA Trump world are too kind and nice and get stomped all over because they never think that the MAGA folks will do this, and then it happens, and then it's like, what? They really did that? And we have no response.
Right.
We have to get better at, as was said in the video, fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
Right? When someone throws a punch at you, you throw a punch back. And for this reason, I think Governor Gavin Newsom is right. If Texas does this and tries to buck the system, tries to, use it to their advantage, then we have to block that shot.
Yeah.
And pass a law somehow to get that not to be okay. That you can't use that to get your own way. It's not what should be intended as far as fair voting and fair voting rules. Same thing with being able to kick voters off the voter rolls. We have to pass laws. When President Biden was in office, there should have been so much done. Instead of just a January 6th commission, there should have been someone coming up with ways to make sure that can't happen again, right? With all the laws, all the flaws that happened like that, and flaws that happened in our voting, that we should always have that. Okay, what unfair thing happened? How can we fix it? Yeah. We always need to be looking ahead to fix it, because otherwise we're just going to get screwed over and over again by the cheaters and the people that have no morals and no ethics, that will do whatever they can, however they can, to win.
Yeah. And I completely agree with you. I think if we don't start playing their game, we're going to lose, because they're playing a game and we're just standing on the sidelines while they run away with the ball. And it's our country. Like, they're changing the rules as they go. And we're just being like, well, that's against the rules. And they're like, we're making new rules. Bye. And there's nothing that we can do. I mean, they're taking control of our Supreme Court. This book that Kim gave me, The Last American Road Trip, there was this part in the book that I remember, and who was it? When Kennedy retired, and she has this whole come to Jesus moment. She's like, he's going to get control of the court, and she was very scared of this moment. And obviously when the book was right, it was
Do you mean Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
no. It was when Kennedy
Oh,
retired.
okay.
I had not that part. When Kennedy retired, and he was friends with Donald Trump, and
Got
she's
it.
like, he's very good friends with Donald Trump, and so she foresaw what was coming, and she's like, he's gonna get control of the Supreme Court, and if you get control of the Supreme Court, then we've lost the country, and then obviously I've read this book, and this book was written back in 2016 era. And so it's just one of these things where we need to fight fire with fire is what I'm saying. We need to get Citizens United overturned. We always needed to. And we also need to stop thinking of, Bernie Sanders' ideas as these wackadoo progressive ideas. They're not. They're common sense ideas. They're actually what Americans want. I think that if you asked most Americans what they want to be able to work a job that pays their bills. They want health care that doesn't break them every time they get sick. I mean, these are common sense things. They want to send their kid to school, a school that's educating them properly, right? Like we're not so far off. But what we need to do is we need to get the politics, the political discourse out of it. We need to stop making career politicians, divide us. And how we do that is to get Citizens United out of it, because it's moneyed interests that want to keep us divided. The Citizens United was our downfall. I mean, again, if people knew their history, I think that they would realize that was a huge turning point in this, along with the Telecommunications Act of 1996, but we can go back down that rabbit hole. But
the reason we don't have jobs, right?
Exactly.
Teacher Lori says this whole thing is a catch-22. Use bad tactics to get power and then fix things when we have the power and then suddenly turn righteous. She writes, Democrats have been majorly corrupt in the past. Tammany Hall, anyone?
Of course. I know. And nobody's putting a crown on the Democratic Party.
Right.
But what I would say is, and I hate saying the lesser of two evils, because I think that both the Democratic and Republican Party are corrupt. I do. I think both of them are corrupt. But I think that the platforms, what they want to do and who they want to do it for are vastly different. I just do. And I hate saying that, because I think that there is a lot of truth in what you're saying, Teacher Lori. I think that, and that's my worry, right? Is like, you open Pandora's box with a lot of trust, and then how do you shut that again? I don't know. Yeah. Don't forget, Cindy writes, don't forget Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger got the law passed that ended California gerrymandering. Convenient. Think he knew what Texas was going to do. I don't know. I never considered Schwarzenegger a true Republican anyway. I call him a California Republican anyway, but no, I wouldn't. I don't think that Arnold Schwarzenegger was that far thinking. I personally don't, but I don't know. It's gonna be very, very interesting to watch. So,
I'm tired of losing control, and we have to do something to stop the bleeding.
So
We have to.
again.
And if we let them win in the next election, we're just going to be further and further and further screwed. We have to fight back. Have to.
Exactly.
Have to.
I think that if Texas does it, we have to do it. That's it. Period. If Texas does it, and if Texas does it, there's no argument against us doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like, they can't be like, how could California do it? You did it. You're a huge state, and you just did it for no good goddamn reason. So, no, you don't get to do that. So
because the thinking is, but we're morally better than them, right? We do the right thing. we have morals and values and principles, and we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't manipulate voting districts in our own favor and our own best interest. No, we wouldn't do that.
No. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna we'll put a pin in this. We'll see what's happening. But I found it very, very interesting, to say the least. Okay. Let's switch gears. Can we lighten it up a little bit? Because I was a bit heavy.
Let's lighten it up. We need a
lighten
mental
it up.
health
Can
moment.
we do some? Let's do some. Can I do a little bit of? Do you guys want to see the pictures from my trip?
Yes, please.
19 states. I counted.
Wow.
19 states we travel through. Nevada, Utah. I wrote it down. Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and ended in Louisiana. So, and we took a picture. Tried to take a picture at the actual like signs.
Okay.
Some of them you just can't do
Did
it.
you have to pull over on the highway to do this?
Some of them are on the highway. Some of them like are on a they have it like on a like bridge
Sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Some of them have a welcome center, so we did that. So we have some
Probably
really cute
safer.
ones.
Yeah.
But as you all know, the reason of my trip was the roller coasters. And I'm going to say this. There's one amusement park that you have to go to. Hands down, it is Cedar Point. It did not disappoint, my friends. I am telling you. Wait, I have a picture of it. I took a picture of it. Did I not put it up there?
Can I
thought
tell
did.
you while you're looking for that picture?
Yes.
Can I just tell you how scared I was? Because like
Oh,
the
I
day
really
you told me you were going to this park, then I saw the story come out that there was a group of people that got stuck like halfway upside down
on that
on this-
Siren's Curse
on
one.
this Siren's ride. And I'm like, oh God, not Nikki. Please,
Yes,
not
no.
Nikki upside down.
I
getting
wrote,
stuck
okay,
there.
so that was the new one. That was the
Yeah.
tilt one. That was the tilt one. That it was a brand new ride. So we stayed at one of Cedar Point's kind of offshoot hotels. So we got in early. So we rode like one of their roller coasters and we got in line for Siren's Curse. And we still had to wait probably 45 minutes to get on the ride in the morning. This is the only park we paid for the fast pass or the flash pass, whatever you call it. And we needed it. It was the only park that we paid for. And I'm so glad we did because it was the busiest park that we went to. All the other parks, I'm telling you, were almost empty.
Wow.
Almost empty. I don't know if it was the weather because I'm telling you, it
During the
rained.
summer? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like you can't, but honestly, but I am telling you, any of my roller coaster junkies out there, Cedar Point is heaven. I was in heaven. It was faster, steeper, like every park I wish it was the last park we went to because every park after that was slow. I felt like I was like, you know, just like, oh, this is okay. But every park felt slow after this. But I'm telling you, Siren's Curse was cool because it was a novelty with the tilt. We rode it once in the morning. We were there from 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I have a picture. My husband took a screenshot of all the walking that we did.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Because he does like that Strava thing where you can like, you know, like track all of it. And I this is a tiny picture of it though. We did 18,248 steps just at Cedar Point.
That's a lot.
More than 8 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. Just going back and forth at Cedar Point. Okay. And that doesn't even count the lines that we were in. But I'm telling you, the best ride that we went on, and this is the one we can only use the fast pass once, was something called Top Thrill 2. Okay. I've never been on anything like it.
Are they kidding me with the miles per hour?
No.
Is that a joke?
I'm going to show you a video. So you sit in this seat. I am telling you, Kim, I was like, and I'm going to tell you the funniest story is my daughter was wearing false eyelashes and they stayed on. And I was like, you should do a commercial for those false eyelashes. So I'm going to show you the video. The first launch, 74 miles per hour. So you go forward 74 miles per hour and like you kind of go up, but you can't make it all the way around. So then it shoots you backwards at 101 miles per hour. And then you go forward 120 miles per hour to make it over the loop.
Jesus.
I'm going to show you this video.
No way I would ever climb on that ride.
It's a YouTube video. So I might, if you're not watching this live, you might not be able to see it. They might ding me on it. It is so awesome. Okay. I'm going to enlarge it. This is a point of view video of it. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So this is forward. And you go straight up. It's
Close your
straight
ears.
up.
We're going to hear screaming.
Straight up. And then you shoot all the way back, and then you end up like facing straight down because you have to go really, really fast. So like you're just like straight down.
Oh my God. Look at that.
And you're just gonna go up and around that thing. And that's the whole ride. And it kind of twists you right here, and then you just go over and then straight down. And that's it.
God, I feel dizzy just looking at that.
That was my heaven. That
Oh,
was like
no,
so my
says
heaven.
Liz.
I
Oh,
would do it again a
no.
million times.
Not for me, says Liz.
Oh
Nope,
God,
says
yeah.
Ricky. Nope.
Oh,
Oh
it
my
was
God, says
so
Laura.
But you want to know the funny part is like when I got in the ride, I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of like scared. Like it was because I'd never been on anything like that before. Like it was a ride that I'd never been on anything. Funny story about the license plate, Liz. So I told you guys before I left because we're driving cross country. People don't like California. It's like, ugh, stupid people. So we rented a minivan.
Yeah.
And so my husband and I, we didn't know what we were getting Monday morning when we're leaving. We go to the airport to pick up our rental. We go to pick up the minivan, Tennessee plates.
Oh,
I was like, all right, they're not going to hate us. So
bueno.
we had Tennessee plates the whole entire time. So I guess nobody, no, we didn't get any problems. We didn't get any problems. The minute I opened my mouth though, because every night we stayed in a hotel,
Sure.
people could, once I hit a certain point across country, people were like, where are you from? And I go, I'm from California. They're like, we could tell. I didn't think I had that much of an accent, but I did. If you followed me on Facebook, you probably know this. We stopped at the corn maze. That was a lot of fun.
That one looked really cool. Yeah.
That's all like corn and husks. Where else did we? Oh, this is a fun one. Okay. So where is the cup? There is, I don't know if you guys watch the Mormon moms. Do you ever watch, there's this Mormon cult show. I don't know if you watch it, but anyways, did you know that in Utah, because they don't drink coffee or do drugs or anything, they drink something called dirty soda? Have you ever heard of this before?
What is it?
So dirty soda, it's basically they take soda and they just put a bunch of syrup in it. And that's why it's called dirty.
What do you mean by soda? Like
any kind of soda, like Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, whatever.
It already has sugar in it.
Yes, but they call it dirty soda because they put something else in it. So there's this place in Utah. It's called Swig, and that is the place that all apparently Utonians, whatever, go to. So we had to stop. My daughter wanted to stop because this is known on social media. It's called Swig. And my son got Dr. Pepper. You can get all kinds of add-ons. Raspberry syrup, cherry syrup. You can put all these add-ons. It's coconut cream. Yeah. Coconut cream, all different types of creams in it. It's actually pretty good. I got one, but it's the big thing. Dirty soda. That's what they do.
Okay.
But you know what? Mormons also do ketamine. So it's very weird. I don't understand Mormons, but anyways. So we stopped at Swig. We also, I like fried chicken. We stopped at Bojangles. It wasn't very good. Popeyes is better. So if you're driving across
country, sign on the iced tea is steeped like we mean it. Was it good tea?
It was very sweet. It was sweet tea already.
Okay.
I will tell you this: when we walked in, very different kind of ordering. Like you just kind of order. It's all right in front of you. It was kind of chaotic a little bit for me, but there was a very nice gentleman. He didn't speak. I think he was kind of on the spectrum, but he was really sweet. Like we're just standing there, like looking at the menu, and he just comes up to me with this big grin. He like elbow bumps the whole entire fam. I was like, oh, that's cool. Very sweet. Yeah. And then I was like looking for the garbage can when we were leaving. He like just took my tray. So that was my impression of Bojangles. Very sweet staff. The chicken was okay. And then of course we made it to New Orleans, which was the place that I wanted to go. I am telling you, New Orleans does not disappoint. This was the other news story that slapped me in the face. You guys remember on New Year's, the terrorist attack that drove down Bourbon Street. So we were walking and I passed the memorial that they had. I didn't, it didn't even cross my mind until we were walking. So this whole memorial, in front of the cathedral right there, they had all these crosses and everything. So I took a picture of that. It was really, really sad. But yeah, it was just totally hit me in the face there. But I ate my weight in gumbo when I went there. It was so freaking good. This is just a mash of all the food. This, the second picture from your left, that's the gumbo from Mr. Ed's. That was the best gumbo that I ate. The far left is a muffalata from my that was my husband's. The third picture in was, I think, the first day we were there. The third and the fourth picture, those are both my husband's meals. And I think that if you look at the fourth picture, like it looks crunchy on top. I think that's fried alligator. So they ate all that. The kids even tried the fried alligator.
Which one's the fried alligator?
The far right, the far right one on top.
Goodness.
I think that's a little fried alligator. So they ate that. We had beignets. We went to Cafe Beignet, which is where I went live. But I'm telling you, Cafe Du Monde with their beignets and coffee with chicory. Oh,
look at those beignets. That's powdered cream galore.
Powdered sugar. I don't know why they put so much powdered sugar on it, but they must have stock in powdered sugar. I'm just saying. But it
mounds of it.
Their coffee, though, to die for. To absolutely die for.
Phineas wants to know, would you like a defibrillator? Like, or do you need?
I'm telling you, okay? I walked a lot, and honestly, I just ate a lot of gumbo, but also the seafood boils. So if there was one thing that my daughter wanted the most, there's Marley. Was seafood boils. She ate 2 while we were there. That was the first one at Mr. Ed's, is the one on the left with her. And then the last day we were there, the one on the right, this was just a place across from our hotel. We had another seafood boil. So, yeah, that was hella good. And then we also stopped at this place called Waffle Time that does these, and it started in New Orleans, bubble waffles. So they have this special kind of waffle maker that makes the waffles like into bubbles. And then they put ice cream on it, and then they charge you like $15 for it. So it's totally overpriced.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. But the kids liked it. And so we had those. And then the last thing that we got was Turkey and the Wolf, which was a fried bologna sandwich.
Oh my God.
It was huge. My husband and I should have shared one, but we didn't. I could barely finish mine. I think I ate like a quarter of it. It was so huge, but it was delicious. Fried
What's
bologna.
it served with? What are those potato chips? Or
it was in the sandwich. The chips were
God.
in the sandwich with cheese and mayo and fried bologna and lettuce. And it was hella good, but way too much. Share it if you ever go there. Did I have the char grilled oysters at Acme? No, I'm not a big oyster eater.
Okay.
I have had barbecued oysters. I make them occasionally at home, but I'm not going to go to a restaurant and order charred oysters because I'm not a big oyster eater. So
Catherine says, I gained at least 5 pounds in New Orleans last year.
I have not weighed myself. I feel like I did okay. I did a lot of walking, but I also did a lot of sitting because I was driving a lot. So I feel like it evened out. I feel like my clothes fit. How about that? My clothes fit. I don't have any problem buttoning my clothes. So it was definitely a good trip. New Orleans was the best way to end. I was not able to do the ghost tour that I wanted to do, though, because
that would have been fun.
It was storming. I'm telling you, the storms were insane. The lightning, the chick, we met up with the girl that was doing the tour, but the lightning, she's like, we can't do it if there's this much lightning because of, I guess, liability. And there was so much lightning. So we just walked up and down Bourbon Street. Watching my children walk up and down Bourbon Street was quite a sight. But it was a damn good trip. So
during your trip, all the flooding in Texas was going on as well.
It was so sad to hear about that. Yeah.
Were you concerned when you saw all the flooding and the rain coming down in your areas that you would get caught up in something like that?
Yeah. Well, in Georgia and Mississippi, like it's like we kept missing the flooding. I'm telling you, like we would drive and then I'd be listening to the news because we would listen to like public radio or whatever when we were driving. Because I mean, Jesus, we're just driving constantly. And it would just be like, oh, they cleared the road a day or two before we were passing through it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we were extremely lucky on this trip, but I'm telling you that there was one day where James was driving, and somebody had mentioned earlier about pulling over. I had to close my eyes. I was so scared. I could not. Because I didn't want to be that person where I was like, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was deathly afraid of how much it was raining, and it was so much rain, and I felt so sad for that campground. It was just a tragic story to be following. I can't even imagine. But the amount of rain that fell all of a sudden, and then I'd be looking over, and it was blue skies. It was like a line. The weather in the Midwest and back east in the summertime is nothing that I've ever experienced. And I would look at the map just to kind of, and it's like all this activity, and then the West Coast is nothing. And it's like, yeah, can I just get back over there? And it's so humid. It's so humid. My son, when we got off the plane in San Jose, he was so funny. He's like, breathe. Because he's like, everything, all the smells stay in the air. He's like, I can, it's so thick over there. So yeah, I think we're a bit spoiled. I will say it's just, there's a reason we pay this much
to live here. Interestingly, I was reading some really sad stories about people involved in that flood that were carried away.
Oh God, yeah.
And the stories of survival. And it seems like the people that ended up walking away from this, not necessarily with the rest of their families, were lucky enough to grab onto a solid tree. I read this one story where this person grabbed onto a tree, held onto it for a few minutes, and then it snapped. And they were lucky enough to grab onto another one, climb that tree, which the tree stayed, lucky enough to stay, and they could wait until the waters subsided a little, and the rescue people came. But at least 4 members of this family were rescued in this way, but lost children that
I can't even imagine.
Couldn't hold on, and they couldn't grab onto them. So it was really scary, horrible stories. But aside from that tragedy, I want to know, regarding your trip, what was the best thing you saw, and what do you think next time you would skip?
The best thing that I saw. Oh, that's going to be hard. I would have to say, I mean, just because I wanted to go back to New Orleans so much, I would say that. But I will say this. One of the things that I paused on was in Wisconsin. La Crosse, Wisconsin, we went to. And I will say, La Crosse, Wisconsin, if you haven't been there, very nice area. The La Crosse River, we stayed at a hotel like right on the La Crosse River. We just so happened to stay on a Friday night. So there was this like kind of like First Friday kind of festival. You know how they have those like little, neighborhood type things. So there was music and little shop things going on. It was a very nice day to be in La Crosse, Wisconsin, I will say. It was just a very nice area. I liked seeing that. I don't know. To say the best thing that I saw would be extremely hard.
Do you have the video up of you went live with this video at a New Orleans cafe where there was music and everyone was lounging around and people were walking around, and it was just this great
That was at
atmosphere.
Cafe Beignet. That was at Cafe Beignet. And now that was like our first morning there. And Cafe Beignet was a little bit closer than Cafe Du Monde. Like Cafe Du Monde was like 15 minutes and Cafe Beignet was like 10 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go there first. And it was really, really fun. I don't know if I have it. Is it? No, I don't have it. I have it on YouTube, but I'm on YouTube, so I don't know if I could bring it up. But yeah, go back to my lives and you could probably see it. New Orleans in and of itself was just amazing. The sunsets, and I mean, New Orleans, just the history. You could just walk around New Orleans. We did a swamp tour, and there are pictures. I don't know if I pulled any of the pictures of the swamp tour, but there was a part where one of the Disney movies from the swamp, Tiana, whatever. I forget the name of it. But there was a part in the swamp where they're like, they took it. Disney came here and took all of the cartoon from this part of the swamp. It's just gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, New Orleans is great. Now, the part that I probably would have skipped, sadly, that I was excited to go to was Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
I was really looking forward to Atlanta. Atlanta was the last stop before New Orleans.
This,
Okay,
by the way,
so
this is La Crosse, Wisconsin.
yeah, La Crosse, Wisconsin was a really nice town, honestly.
It's
Like
beautiful.
yeah, it's a really, really nice town, and the
Yeah.
river was beautiful. The day it was gorgeous day that we were there. It was absolutely beautiful, and it's
Yeah.
Wisconsin. I mean, you don't really. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kept saying, "Hello, Wisconsin." I don't know if that's somebody. I just was stupid. We had a good time in Wisconsin. But
But
Atlanta was very disappointing. From the hotel that we stayed at was very
Mhm.
disappointing. Beyonce was in town, so I think it was just very chaotic where we were as well. And then the funniest part, and I told my parents this story. There was this nightclub that was kitty corner to our hotel that serves Sunday lunch that my husband decided to take our entire family to for lunch on Sunday, but it's just really still a club with scantily clad women and a hookah bar and, rap music. And it was,
God.
it left quite the memory, but it was hilarious and left quite the memory. But the food was decent, but it was, and we weren't the only family there. So that was something. But Atlanta was kind of disappointing, but I think it was more the hotel than the city. It just kind of left a bad taste in your mouth when the hotel sucks. But we didn't do a lot in Atlanta. Atlanta had the hotel had the nicest pool we stayed in, but we just relaxed. But yeah, I think it was also
Mhm.
towards the end of our trip, so we were kind of done. The kids were definitely done.
Yeah.
And spending almost a month, like with 3.5 weeks on the road with your kids.
Yep.
I will say this though, no fighting.
I was going to ask you best family moment.
She probably won't say it is, but waking the kids up. My husband decided to make it a habit to play dueling banjos, if you know the song. To wake up my children every morning, and it was fucking hilarious. And it only really bothered my daughter. So I have that on video a million times. So that was really funny. And we got really good at, I would make, and I'm tiny. You guys know, like I'm 5'1", right? And so we had like coolers in the back, and I'm making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on coolers. And, we got really good with our bags. And besides like a little bit of drama with, friends back home, between the families, between our family, we didn't fight. There
I
was
love
no
that.
huge blowout.
Wow.
We did really well. I was
Okay.
extremely surprised because I'm a
So
hot-blooded
good.
person. I was
Yeah.
very surprised. I journaled the whole trip. We wrote the mileage. I still have to print the pictures, but I left space in my journal for all the pictures. We stopped at a Buc-ee's that my husband was dying to see. Which is, have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
I don't know what that is.
It's a huge gas station convenience store
Oh, yeah.
that sells
Okay.
barbecue, which actually is really actually pretty good.
You and your
But
gas station food, I will never understand it.
but it's actual real barbecue. I mean, like tri-tips, like barbecue, they have a barbecue in there. Like, it's not, no, this isn't like, it's not like rolling sausage hot dogs all day. Like, people go there for their chopped beef sandwiches. It's actually really good. I was actually really good. We did laundry on the trip, it was just really, really, it was a good trip. I'm never going to forget this trip. I think the kids were ready to go home, but I don't think they'll ever forget it.
Yeah.
And it was everything I wanted. I'm glad that we did it. I'm really, 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 yeah, there it is. My husband was so excited to go. I swear to God, he was. The only thing he wanted to go to that we didn't go to was a Wawa's. He was bummed that we passed so many Wawa's and we
Yeah.
didn't stop. And then we got out of the area where there were Wawa's.
Yeah.
He wanted to get a sandwich. I'm like, whatever. But once he was like adamant about getting a Wawa sandwich, we were out of the area, and it would have taken us off a detour to go get one. I was like, whatever. But yeah, it was such a good trip. It was so good. And I'm so glad that we did it. But I'm happy to be home. I'm really
glad
happy
you're
to be
back
home.
and safe
Yeah.
and sound with flooding and thunder
Yeah, and no like flat
firecrackers in the
tires, like
crowd.
nothing like that, like,
Good
and
Lord.
it turned out really good. So yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
happy to be back. I'm,
Good.
I really appreciate everyone's notes. You guys like messaged me on the side, and
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys for still supporting the show while I was gone. And so
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be back. So
Well, I have to
thank
say it
you.
was kind of fun every other day doing all those recorded shows with you and bringing the girls on. Like
Yeah.
we really nailed those. I thought they were good, and I enjoyed rewatching them with
Exactly.
everybody. So,
I did too. Like it was funny because like all of a sudden I would get an alert and James would be like, "You're on." And so like, we'd be listening to it and like, but we'd be in the car, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And it would be really fun. So I don't know. But thank you guys so much. We will be back next week as well. So thank you
Live.
guys for being here live. We will be here.
Mhm.
Awesome. So be right back here next Thursday. Next Thursday also, I'll be back at work. Like that's my summer. Like that was my entire summer. I start
Mhm.
work next Wednesday. So at my job, at school, but the kids won't be back. The kids at my school don't come back for like what? Another month. When do your kids go back to school?
August 13th.
Yeah, I think mine are August 13th too.
It just
So they
always
still have a
seems
little
so
bit longer.
early to me. Like, why do they do that? It used to be school didn't start till after Labor Day.
I know.
Why are they
It hasn't
killing
been that
me?
way for so long though. We're just
I
old.
hate it.
We're
I
just
know.
old. All
I
right, you
know.
guys. Click that thumbs up button, please, you guys, and support the show any way you can.
Mhm.
Patreon, super chat, super stickers, all the ways to support us are underneath the show notes. And we are 100% crowdfunded. So
Yeah.
if you can support us in any way, we really do appreciate it. We are supported by your guys' support. So thank you guys so very much. We love you guys. Thank you so very much. And tell your friends about the show. So make sure you
Please.
like, subscribe, and we will be back here next week at 5:00 Pacific. So tell your friends. All right. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.